Okay, so for this one, we have the square of a number is equal to 15 more than twice the number. Find all numbers, all such numbers. So we can name the number X or Y, anything you want. It doesn't really matter because we're saying the square of a number. So we don't know what that number is. So we have to name it X, or we have to name it a certain variable. And then it says it's equal to 15 more than twice the number. So what it's saying is when it says square, you're basically saying X squared equals, and then it says 15 more than twice the number. So it's saying that it's equal to 15 plus, and then it's saying twice this. So 2 times X. And then it's saying find all numbers. So for this one, we have the equation x squared equals 2x plus 15. And what you do is you have to solve this. You have to basically solve the equation for x, and what you do is you have to set it equal to 0. So because it's a quadratic equation, so what you do is then you go ahead and you can solve it two ways. Number one, you can do x box. Number two, you can do the quadratic formula. And I think I'm going to do both of those ways, so that way you know how to do it, just in case you want to know. So for Xbox, what we do is we go ahead and this is A times C, so it's the first term times the last term, and then this is your B. So we have to say 1 times negative 15, and then we have our middle term over here, negative 2. So then what we do is we draw a box, and then we go ahead and put our ax squared right here, our very front term. We put it right there. So basically you have x squared, and then we don't know these two numbers because these are the two numbers that go over here. We don't know them yet. And then we also have negative 15 right here. This is where your C goes, your constant. So we want to find two numbers that multiply to get negative 15 and add to get 2, or negative 2. So the numbers that I'm thinking of are negative 5 and 3. So we have negative 5x and 3x because they both add up to get negative 2. So that's basically what I'm saying. They add up to get negative 2, and they multiply to get negative 15. So we go ahead and put our multiples right here. So to get x squared, we do x times x. And then to get to 3x, we multiply by 3 and x. And then we say x, and we're trying to get to negative 5x. So we multiply by negative 5. And then over here, it's already done for you, but we have 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. So then that way, this simplifies to x plus 3 times x minus 5 equals 0. So then we say x plus 3 equals 0, and then x minus 5 equals 0. So to solve x plus 3, we subtract 3 on each side. So we get x equals negative 3. And then to do x minus 5 equals 0, we add by 5 on each side, and we get x equals 5. So then we have x equals -3 and x equals 5. If you want to do it using the quadratic formula, so we have x squared equals 2x plus 15. We do the same thing. Or if you want to do, doesn't really matter how you do it, like what you subtract, as long as you get it set equal to 0. So there's a lot of ways to do this. So you have x squared minus 2x minus 15 equals 0. And then what you do is you use the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula is x equals -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And this is going to be, so it's going to be -b. We have a b, and then we have an a and a c. And basically, what we're going to do is, first we're going to say what our a, b, and c equal. So a equals 1, b equals -2, and c equals -15. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and simplify. So I'm going to go ahead and plug it in now. So we have negative, and our b equals -2. So we have negative of -2 plus or minus the square root of -2 squared minus, and this is, it's actually like this, minus 4 times 1 times our c, which is -15. Let me put it over here. And then it would be all over 2 times 1. So then you simplify it. So we have negative of -2, that's going to be +2, plus or minus the square root of, and -2 squared is 4, and then minus 4 times -15 all over 2. So then we have 2 plus or minus the square root of 4 minus, and then 15, and then it's going to be positive because a negative times a negative is a positive. So we have plus, and then it's 15 times 4, I think it's 60. So then we have 2 plus or minus the square root of 4 plus 60 all over 2. And then we go ahead and simplify it even more. We say 2 plus or minus the square root of 64 all over 2. And then that's going to be 2 plus or minus the square root of 64 is 8 all over 2. And we say 2, this is equal to 2 plus 8 over 2, or 2 minus 8 over 2. So then we have 10 over 2. So x equals 10 over 2, or -6 over 2. So then we have x equals 5, or x equals -3. And as you can see, it's the same thing that we got up here. It's the same thing, x equals 5 or x equals -3. So yeah, I hope this helps. And if you have any questions, please let me know. But yeah, that's basically how you do your, for quadratic, this quadratic equation. It's a quadratic equation, really. It's just in word problem. So yeah.